Hey, this is just a random thought. I watched you know uh, Backrooms yesterday, and then I watched Obsession a couple weeks ago. Uh, it just seems like horror movies are always the. It just seems like it carries a bad year or a good year too. You know what I mean? You might have those movies that come out that does good, and then you have another movie that comes out that does good, or something like that. The ones that are supposed to do good and they do good, but it just seems like these smaller scale horror movies always seem to be the ones that always can see to be the ones that could give the industry a little bit of a help in the box office category. You know what I mean? And it's a great investment when you make an investment in a movie and you don't put that much money into it, and you'd be able to uh, come up with something good. I mean, Obsession didn't cost that much money, and neither did Backrooms. I think Backrooms was a little bit more than Obsession. I don't know which one was cost more, but does it appear to you guys that it seems like horror just seems like it's just a I don't know. I just think everybody likes. I ain't saying everybody likes horror, but horror just seems to be the cheapest version and the one that can get people to go to the theaters to go see. Not all the time, but I say good. Uh, I got a kink in my neck, while my head's. It's hard to. I hate that, but I slept wrong. But anyway, I don't know about y'all, but man, horror just seems to be just. It's like your safety net. Horror just seems to be a safety net to me. Now I enjoy horror. Like I really enjoyed Sinners last year, and I enjoyed Weapons. Now there are a few movies that I didn't go see because they didn't do much for me. Now there are horror movies that I don't go see. I didn't go see that Mummy because it didn't do anything for me. And then there's horror movies that came out. I didn't want to go to the theater, but I ended up watching them on watching them on on Fandango. I ended up buying them and stuff. So, uh, but anyway, I really think horror really helps the movie industry, and it helps. It just seems to be like the safety net. You know, if you don't have a good year, you got a few horror movies that you could sprinkle in there and kind of keep the box office and the movie going experience safe. Not all the time. Not all the time. But I just wanted to throw that up. It's not gonna be a long video. It just seems like how you guys feel about that? How you feel about the fact that, you could, just and it gets me, I had no idea that uh these two YouTubers, these were two YouTubers, I guess. Did they have something to do? Was these people originally from the YouTube space? And if they were, that's pretty impressive. Um, I don't really like YouTube, you guys. I really don't, but I do. I mean, it really helps me out on video games. It helps me out on my, I bought a watch the other day, and I can get on YouTube, and I could get through all the apps. One time my laptop got froze up and stuff. And where am I going with this? Well, where I'm going with this is that I like YouTube, but I don't. But then I wanted to talk about a specific person that they just will not let him rest, and that is, you know, I want to say that's very impressive of the guy that had made uh, Backrooms. I guess he's only 20. And then I guess the other guy from Obsession, I guess he's a YouTube creator too, if not mistaken. And he's in his 20s. And then you got Chris Strutman. You know, I don't feel bad for Chris Strutman at all. You know why? Because he did take a chance and it failed. When I get on his, every now and then I'll listen to him and Jeremy John. And there's a lady I listen to, but she always got to throw something in there that has nothing to do with the movie. I'm like, why you always got to bring up those that she's good reviewer, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm not gonna bring her name up, but Chris Struckman, Jeremy John, and there's other Drum Dum, Cody Leach, and all them. I don't listen to them like I used to either, but they're good. But you know, you know, sometimes you just Chris Struckman's movie just didn't hit it. But when he got back on, a lot of people say he's playing it safe and all that kind of stuff. So I've seen a lot of clips on YouTube because YouTube is more of a hateful feed type of place where you could just make real bad content. And what I mean by content is like a lot of doom and gloom and negativity stuff, and you can get a lot of views. If you're boring, you're not going to get that many views. So people like controversy. So uh, I was listening to Chris Strutman's review. I just wanted to see what he had to say about Backrooms, and he enjoyed it. And but you can't read the comments because comments can be very toxic. People are very rude in the comment section, and they was talking about, yeah, too bad your movie sucked, and it's too bad that you should learn from that, and this and that and stuff. I'm quite sure that bothers him in the back of his mind, you guys. But you don't have to be so damn rude and just keep constantly tormenting him. Get the hell off his channel. If you don't really have anything nice to say about his movie, don't bring up his movie because you're mad because his movie did good. He just missed the mark. I didn't watch the movie. I just did. I wanted it to do good. Maybe it'll have a following later on in life or something like that. But you don't have to keep bringing that up. I'm quite sure that hurts him. It hurts him. And yeah, I know he's changed. I guess he's changed because I really don't pay that much attention to how a person changed. But when I was reading some of the comments, which you shouldn't, now they said that he plays it safe now. He doesn't want to criticize. He doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to do that like he did in his earlier stuff. But we all made mistakes, you guys. Seriously. We all tried something and didn't work. At least he is supporting the other YouTubers and he's trying to be positive. You know what I mean? So I just, why don't you guys just back off on him? You know what I mean? Stop leaving these horrible comments on this section about how his movie was terrible. I bet you feel like crap because yours didn't do good. I hope you learned from this and all that stuff. He took a chance, you guys, and it didn't work. Let it be. You'll be talking about something else in the next couple of years. I hope you let this go. The man is married. He got a couple of kids. Come on, you guys. Stop being so flat out rude. I just don't get it. That's just my thing. Yeah, it's too bad his movie didn't make it, and it's too bad it didn't do good. But at least he is out supporting other YouTubers because he supported Backrooms. He supported Obsession. And I guess it just goes to show you how much I don't know anything because, I didn't know these people were YouTube people, Here I say I don't like YouTube and I don't because a lot of times I'm going to get on YouTube for like 2 or 3. I'm going to get on it for a while and then I'll get back on it because I have an idea or something I want to talk about. But YouTube is a hard area to be into, you guys. It's very hard. I mean, if you're not pumping out a bunch of hateful comments and negative reviews, and you can get into that feed to where you can get views. Like I like to watch a lot of stuff about how men overcame bad relationships and how men are striking out on their own and how they're avoiding women. I could do the red pill content and I know I'd get a lot more views. I could do political content, which side I voted for and stuff, man. You would get a lot of eyes on your channel. But I don't want to be that type of YouTuber, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying that, a lot of times, man, I know Chris has to feel bad that his movie done good, but we don't need to keep throwing, are you going to do that 3 years from now? What if another YouTuber does, there was another YouTuber that did good about 6 months ago. He did, his movie did good. But I noticed that people struck out at Chris Struckman because of Shelby Oates. I just let it go, you guys. Let's enjoy the moment. The man's got a wife and 2 kids. Let it be. Just let it be. Let it rest. It didn't work, and that's it. We know that. But we don't need another YouTube. Let's say another YouTuber comes up with a brilliant idea and it works. Because you can't blame the banks when they look at something or they do research and they say, well, I'll give you some money to make this movie, and it makes 60 or 50 or $80 million on a $300,000 budget, or $750,000 budget, and you make 80 million or 120 million. That's a profit. So what I'm saying is that, sure, his movie didn't do that good, but you don't need to constantly just, when he's reviewing something, you don't have to leave comments about his movie and how it sucked and how I don't get it. That's all I gotta say. But back to the the emergency net. That's the best way I can put it. I think Hollywood always got that safety net, and that safety net is freaking horror movies. Now, I ain't gonna lie, there were some horror movies that came out that just wasn't that good to me. And they didn't, there's horror movies that were supposed to be good and they weren't good. So I get it. But it just seems like horror movies always keeps people going to the multiplex or something, you want to say? You know what I mean? So that's all. The only reason why I was talking about Chris Rutman and how people bring it up, because I just wanted to see what he had to say about Backrooms, because I said that Backrooms ain't going to be for everybody. I enjoyed it. I really did. I had no idea that it was made by a YouTuber. I just found that out today. I didn't know that. I did find out that Obsession was made by a YouTuber. I guess he's a YouTuber. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, I have had things in my past that I am not proud of. And, you get tired of people bringing up your past or something you did wrong and it didn't work, and somebody's just constantly just wanting to just nag that. And I understand. People say, well, man, that's just the internet. Well, you got to be one miserable person to just constantly just nag and jab somebody. Let it go, y'all. Let it go. But anyway, I just wanted to throw a video up about how I just feel like the horror movies keeps, Hollywood afloat. They always seem like they're the safety net. Horror movies, because they're cheap to make. But anyway, you guys, congratulations to Obsession. Congratulations to Backrooms, and congratulations to the YouTubers going out here, man, and doing this kind of stuff, man. That's impressive. YouTube is, man, it's too bad YouTube don't have a production where they can actually have how you got like A24 and Atomic, whatever, some of those titles that's behind making movies or something. YouTube can invest in making movies, but they have to be good so that when they go to the movie industry, Hollywood could be like, man, they're really taking over our space, because Hollywood's just not clicking on everything, And another thing, I just don't think Hollywood, you guys, a lot of y'all are into those. I was talking to my daughter yesterday, and she agreed. I said, these Oscar movies, a lot of them aren't that good to me. I'm just not into the Oscars, man. People make a big deal of Oscars. A lot of Oscar movies, I'm like, okay, what's the big deal? I see what you're saying, but nah. So anyway, like Obsession and Backrooms probably wouldn't get no Oscar, but who gives a damn? Because I ain't in the Oscars. I think Oscars suck. But if anybody deserves an award, would be the girl that played in Obsession, man. She was on it. That girl was on it, man. She was on it. But anyway, y'all, it's just a quick video. I just feel like horror movies just carries us through the year. Every year you have, last year you had Sinners, you had Weapons, it just seems like you always have those smaller scale movies that always makes an impact every year. Every year. It seems like. I could be wrong. Has there ever been a year where there was a horror movie that just didn't do that good or what? I don't know. Let me know. But how you guys feel? You feel like horror movies always is that safety net? It's like they have a slate of all these movies that's coming out, even your big tadpole movies, right? Because we got a lot of big movies coming out, right? And but they always got those sprinkled in horror movies, man, that A24 is rocking though, man. A24 is rocking. And so is some other ones. I can't think of some of the other names, but I love A24. I bought me an A24 t-shirt. I love A24. They're not always knocking out a home run either, but they do a pretty good job. But I just feel like horror is just always that horror, and some people don't like horror. You know, some people's like, man, I can't sit through that stuff. You know, some people don't care for horror, but anyway, I just thought I'd throw a quick video up. It just seems like horror movies just is always the yearly safety net. The yearly safety net horror. Horror can be, you can have a good horror movie, you guys, and it can be scary, it can be bloody, and it can be comedic at the same time. Now you gotta admit that's impressive. Seriously impressive. And sometimes they might not even be trying to be comedic. But it's just the way that the horror movies produced and made and stuff. And like I said, don't get me wrong. There has been a lot of crappy horror movies that came out that was supposed to be good, but they weren't. So God bless. We'll catch you next video.